Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? Listen, I told you guys yesterday. I sent you an email out and I told you to set your notifications, right? Because I told you there were going to be some things that were coming. And guess what? Here is the first thing that is coming, y'all. Come on in here, say, hey, what's up? Let me know that you're here. If you can, please share. Let's get some people in the room. We've got a special guest today. I'm super excited about this lady here. She has some good questions for me, and I do believe that the questions that she has will help you in your journey, right? So if you're coming in, say, hey, what's up? Hey, Glenda. Hey, Kimberly. Hey, Christina. Good morning, guys. I'm going to share myself. If you can, please share. Let's get some people in the room. Got a special guest in here today that will be asking some questions about transitioning to homeschool and how to handle that. And I imagine that she is not the only person that has these questions. I'm pretty sure she isn't. Bear with me as I share as well. Hopefully everybody's having a good Tuesday. Let's see. One more time, y'all, and then I'm back, okay? Just bear with me, child. All right, so we are in the Zoom room. Her and I are in the Zoom room, but I can see your comments. So you are more than welcome to comment in the comments below. I will not answer every single one in the interest of time. I may pick a couple, and then after I get off live, I will answer those for you, okay? So just to give you a heads up. So Glenda's here. Hey, Glenda. Hey, Christina. Hey, Kimberly. Hey, Erica. Hey, Denny. Hey, Jessica. Thank y'all so much for sharing. Okay, so we're gonna get started. This beautiful lady is Erina, okay? Erina is here stationed in North Texas, and she has three beautiful babies. She has a newly second grader, a newly fourth grader, and a new freshman in high school, okay? And so a little bit about her, she started homeschooling before COVID. She started homeschooling her younger two before COVID. And then once COVID happened, well, let me stop lying. If I remember correctly, you had already decided to homeschool your high schooler, but you it went ahead and just pushed through, like we're just gonna get it done. So she's got some things that she wants to ask. So I decided to reach out to a few people in a couple of groups and say, hey, what questions do you have? Because I want to answer them live. So Erina's going to come ask her question, and then we're going to solve this problem live, okay? Go ahead, Erina.
Hi, everybody. My main question for you, Sean, is I have a total of 4 kids. I have a 1-year-old, I have my 7-year-old, my 9-year-old, and my 14-year-old. Coming into homeschooling, I started with my elementary kids, as you said, and now we're in the time where I have a freshman, my 8th grader going to 9th grade. So my problem is trying to teach them at 3 different levels. Like I told you, my 7-year-old, my second grader, he tends to have a short attention span, doesn't catch on as quickly. And I really have to kind of work with him on a lot of things. My 4th grader, my 1 to 4th grader, you could show him one thing, show him a video, and he got it. The same thing with my 14-year-old. But just trying to keep up with all the different things that they're learning as far as like curriculum. And on top of that, having a 1-year-old, it's just been kind of stressful for me to be able to make sure that I'm putting in the time with each of them, especially coming into this school year with my 9th grader. Just trying to manage that because they are on so much, their levels are so, separated as far as learning and their learning styles.
Okay. So you have done a learning style for all of them?
For my 7-year-old and my 9-year-old, initially I started off with I tried to do making their curriculum myself as far as saying, okay, just kind of going off of when I pulled them out of school, where they were, and just trying to gauge them from there.
Okay.
That tended to be a bit much for me to be able to try to do that on a weekly basis. I even tried to plan it out, it didn't work. So I did try to supplement with programs Just for Learning, and I heard you talk about that the other day. So I've been looking into other things, but just other learning websites, which I tried to incorporate that more so, and it did tend to kind of help me, but it wasn't quite helping them because it still had them like on the computer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they didn't quite like that. But for me to teach them as far as time management wise, it was a bit much for me.
Are you trying to teach them separately? So are you trying to say, are you bringing them one subject and teaching them one subject? Are you saying, let me teach the fourth grader, let me teach the second grader, let me teach the freshman? How is that working for you?
With my schedule, because I am a small business owner, I have to do it in the morning with both of them together.
Okay.
So if it's math, they're both doing math. If it's, if we're going over something like a science project or experiment, we're doing it together also.
Okay. Okay. So the first thing I want to say is, so you have a 1-year-old. Okay. So what I want to do is, have you looked into busy boxes or anything to that effect for your 1-year-old? Is your 1-year-old starting to grab and touch onto things or anything to that effect?
Mm-hmm.
So what I would say for the 1-year-old is busy boxes. Okay. Things that will keep your 1-year-old interested so that you're able to focus on the other kids.
Okay.
Does that necessarily mean that it will always work? No, because we know kids, right? When they're done with something, they're done. Lots of paddle books, or not paddle books, board books, all those kind of things to keep the 1-year-old interested. And if you can, during your independent study or during your study time with the second and fourth grader, I want you to try to have the freshmen help with the 1-year-old so that you're able to fully focus on the second and the fourth grader. Does that make sense?
Right.
Okay. And so basically another thing you can do as well is, say for instance, you said that your oldest one and the fourth grader grasp things very easily. And so you may be able to have your high schooler teach your fourth grader some of the things that they need, that your baby needs to know. And so that will allow you to have more independent one-on-one time with the second grader. Okay. And I'm not saying you're not giving all the duties to the high schooler, but what I'm saying is, so let me use me as an example. My oldest is 16, my youngest is 10. And my 14, he just turned 14 yesterday. My 14-year-old needs more one-on-one attention. So the way that I do it is because those two grasp math very easily. Like math is their thing. And so when my youngest has questions, I will have my high schooler sit with him or teach him whatever it is that he needs to know, because at that point she's already learned it. And so she knows it. And to be honest with you, there are a bunch of times that I've explained it to my littlest one over and over again, and he's like, Mom, I don't get it. Then my high schooler comes and says one thing and it clicks for him.
Okay.
And so I use her to help him with the schoolwork. And then that allows me to sit one-on-one with that 14-year-old and find out what the issue is, what the problem is, what he's not understanding, whatever the case may be. And that allows that more one-on-one time. So does that help a little bit? Do you think that's something you might be able to do?
It does. She helped me when they were like during break a lot. She did that too. So I think she'll enjoy that.
Yeah, you have the thing about it is, are you an educator? I meant to ask you that earlier.
No, I'm not.
You're not an educator. Okay. So the thing about it too is that we have to be mindful that homeschooling is way different than traditional school. It's completely different. It's not going to look the same. What I would do also is, if they're going to do, say for instance, if my kids are going to do the same subject, if we're going to do math and we're all doing addition, I'm just saying addition because that's what I'm just saying. We're all going to do addition. I will teach it all on the same level, but when it comes to their breakout work or their independent studies, the level of work is very different than the other. Even with, say, for instance, if we're doing ELA and they have to write a paper. So we did a class where they were doing creative writing. We taught the creative writing, right? But the 10-year-old had a little paragraph to do, right? Introduction sentence, the 3 in the middle, and the conclusion sentence, a paragraph. The middle schooler had a couple more paragraphs or like an essay to do, right? And then my high schooler, I expected more. You had an entire paper to do. And so those things that you can combine and make into one, try to do that, make those into one. And then those things that you can assign to the other child, make those available as well. Let me know if that makes sense. If I need to go into further detail, I can do that as well.
No, it does.
Okay.
It does.
Yeah, and then also, and I think with the second grade, it may just be with the second grader, he wants his mama. I'm saying he, I don't know if it's a he. Is it a he?
And
Okay. He may just want his mama, right? He may just want that one-on-one time. Sit with me, mom. Explain to me. You know, I'm bored. I'm, you know, whatever the case may be. Even with the attention span. I talk all the time about how we do our schedule. It's 30 minutes of time, right, on each subject. So I will teach the subject, and then they have 30 minutes to do their independent work. The way that I have to do it for my 10-year-old is I have to split those 30 minutes into 15-minute increments. And so for his age group, what age are you in second grade? Probably like 7 or 8.
mm-hmm.
I would do, yeah, probably anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes of independent work. And you may have to split those up for him. You may have to do 15 minutes and then let him go play, do whatever he wants to do for 5 minutes, and then come back and finish the rest of the 15 minutes. It sounds like he's very hands-on. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to switch some things, and it sounds like the other two are not as kinesthetic as he is. Right. Is that correct? Yeah.
They're kind of often
and that's cool. That's cool, right? That's how he learns. So you may have to incorporate more manipulatives for him. You may have to do a lot of hands-on stuff for him, because that's visually, that's what, let me touch. That's how he gets it. And so that would be helpful in that, you know, instance, as far as that's concerned. So I'm gonna look at the comments real quick and see if anybody has asked any questions. In the meantime, think about anything you may want to ask about what I just said, and we'll come back to it. No comments. Okay, cool. But thank y'all so much for joining me. This is impromptu. I told you guys, right? I told you in the email last night, and I told y'all all last week to set your notifications because something big was coming. And this is just the beginning, right? This is just the very beginning of what's coming. But set your notifications, because for the next few days, I will be going live randomly all throughout the day. And then I have a huge announcement coming up as well. So set your notifications to make sure that you have all the information that you need. So I'm going to go back to Erin. I don't want to keep her too long because she has a whole family to take care of too. So I don't want to keep her too long. But Erin, did you have any, or I keep saying that, Erina, I apologize. I'm sorry. Do you have any more questions as far as that's concerned?
Not really with that. I think I got the grasp of it as far as like timing too. I made the mistake of kind of scheduling when we initially started homeschooling, trying to model it like after the school system, because we had been for so many years.
We all do,
and
yeah.
It was really, I learned fast that I couldn't do it that way. So now I'm thinking about going into this year more lax than what I was last year. I tend to be kind of like a person that tries to, I think I kind of overdid it, thinking that I had to. Mm-hmm. Trying to just, my worry was that I wanted to make sure they were getting what they needed from me. But then at the same time, I know that they weren't getting what they needed from school either. So,
right. So one thing to remember as well, as far as homeschooling is concerned, it is about the education, right? It is about them learning. However, homeschooling is more of a lifestyle than just about the education. And so if math, I will tell you, for my kinesthetic son, my middle child that's 14, he was having issues with fractions. I mean, we were going over it over and over again, y'all. I mean, like almost spending the summer, because summertime usually go back to whatever it is that they needed to go back to, and I didn't feel that they, you know, fully got. We spent a summer last year just on fractions, because it was like adding fractions was something. It just didn't click to him. Multiplying fractions didn't click to him. And then sometime during this year when it was cold, my kids like to make breakfast. They might like oatmeal, the old fashioned oats where you have to like measure them, the big old huge oats. And so what clicked for him, what made sense to him after spending all that time in the summer, the previous year spending some more time on it, what clicked to him, the kinesthetic part of it, was him cooking breakfast and having to measure how many oats he needed, or how many half cups of oats he needed to feed the entire family. That's what clicked to him. And so that was a shocker to me, right? Even though I'm the guru, right? I go through this and I'm still thinking that I'm doing things kinesthetically for him, like he's able to understand it. And then I come back and I'm like, are you serious? Like oatmeal? Like oatmeal is what taught you how to multiply and add and subtract improper fractions? But yeah, that was what got it for him. That's what made sense to him. He enjoyed cooking, and he could visually see how many half cups of oats versus water that he needed. And that's what clicked for him. And so that's what you have to think about when you're homeschooling is, he's kinesthetic. So what can I teach? How can I teach him? If it's addition, I keep going back to math. Don't ask me why. If it's addition and he likes, you let him have a favorite treat. Maybe it's gummy bears. Maybe it's fruit snacks. And you start teaching him about fruit snacks, but instead of, looking at the paper, you use fruit snacks to show him, how to do that. Or with fractions, one of the things we did with fractions as well is we did a big cookie pie. So we did a big, huge cookie that we made. We didn't go make no dough because I'm not that chick, right? We went and bought some dough at the store and made a big pie, right? And then we cut it, and that's how we taught, 1/4, 1/3, 1/6. Like that's how we taught fractions. That helped him. And so again, when you're homeschooling, think way outside the box. It doesn't have to be outlandish. It doesn't have to require a lot of work for you, because to be honest with you, when we put in the most work and we think this is going to work, this is the bomb, that's when the kids come back after 2 minutes of finishing and they're like, Mom, I'm done. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. And you spent hours working on it. And so that's something to think about. Just think about his kinesthetic styles. How can I get my hands on, how can he get hands in, full-fledged, engulfed in whatever it is that he is doing? What can I do? And so I believe that would help you as well. And I don't necessarily think that you being a person that plans is a problem. You may just need to plan versus planning so detailed. Plan in blocks. We're going to do math today at this time, or we have to do math, ELA, science. And this is what we're going to focus on for science. This is what we're going to focus on for math. And then you guys go find something. Maybe have him pick something that he may want to. But just get them involved, because it's their journey, right? We're just traveling along with them, but it's their journey.
Right.
So do you have any more questions concerning that for me?
No, ma'am. I think you've answered all of my questions.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, I look forward to talking to you again. This has been great. Guys, thank y'all so much for joining me for this impromptu live. I will be back once again. Actually, I'm not even going to say once again. I'm going to be back a lot. I'm telling you, I'm going to be back a lot. So set your notifications so that we can have this conversation. It will not be Erina again, but I thank her so much for giving me her time and telling us her business, right? Her concerns, and being willing to openly say that, because I imagine she knows as well there are other people that are struggling with the same things. So keep me, set your notifications, guys. I was getting ready to tell you what time I'm coming back, but I'm not even going to tell you what time I'm coming back. Set your notifications, all right? Thank y'all so much for joining me. I will catch you guys later on today. Y'all have an absolutely wonderful day. Bye, guys. Okay, so we're done sharing. Amazing. Okay, good job. So listen, try those things. Have you started actually homeschooling right now at this moment, or?
No, ma'am. I was going to start. I think I was going to start in September.
Okay.
Or the end of August. Yeah, I was trying to give myself a little break to kind of focus on some other things and getting in order, so I could really focus once I get into the.
Yeah, try looking up some kinesthetic things. Maybe have him start looking at some stuff that he thinks is cool, that he might think is cool. Okay. You can look and see if there are any math games out there that may be helpful to him in the meantime. But yeah, I guess enjoy, even with you starting in September, because now you've got 3 at home, and then you've got the baby who needs you, mama, mama, mama. Give yourself some grace, 100% some grace. Things are not always going to look like, you think they should. There will be days you plan and you got it and everything works out perfect, and then you try the exact same thing the next day and it crashes and burns, right? So grant yourself some grace. Know what your goal is. Your goal is for your baby, she wants to go to college, is to get her in college. My oldest I just want them to get through with this grade. I don't know what they want at this point, but I want them to, finish this grade, and this is what I want them to do. Then just focus on that. And as long as they get that done, and remember, because you're homeschooling, education can happen anytime. So it doesn't have to be in the mornings. It could be late evenings. It could be weekends only. It could be whatever you want it to be. As far as that's concerned. So say you skipped a day. There have been times where we skip a day. Maybe I'm tired or the kid's not feeling too good. Okay, we're not going to do school today. We're just going to chill. Well, we'll do school on another day. We'll do it on Saturday or Sunday. So if that works for you, right, make it happen.
Did you
Okay.
have to keep like strict records with your high schoolers?
Not in Texas. Not in
Okay.
Texas. Mm-mm.
Okay.
When you're in another state, you do. There's some record keeping. What I do for record keeping is I keep their tests so that I can show that they have learned whatever it is that they learned. But in Texas, you don't have to do any record keeping. And again, in Texas, well, I don't think I said this to you, but we're considered a private school in Texas. And so that's how we're able to write our own diplomas and do all that good stuff. Now, in our house, we do expect our kids to earn credit hours. If they're going to earn the credit hours, you're going to do the work. And so we do that. But if that's not something you want to do, you want to take more of an unschooling method, you can do that as well. And then write the diploma once you feel like they're ready, they're done. And so you have options as far as that's concerned. It's just a matter of what you want to do. And again, there are things that I was doing in the very beginning that I thought that they were great. And now I'm like, child, what was I thinking? It was a waste of time. So just give yourself some grace and just walk that journey. Just walk it as much as you can. All right, you got it. No worries. And ask questions. Don't feel free. I mean, don't hesitate to ask questions. Seriously. I'm just now starting to get into the We Homeschool 2 group, but I do have my own group and I'm in there a lot more often. And so people come in there randomly, just ask questions. Hey, what about this? And I try to be available to answer those questions. So you got it. Grant yourself some grace. There will be days that suck. There are days that I'm sitting on the edge of my bed like, what was I thinking? And then there are days I'm like, I got this. Yeah. And so just grant yourself some grace. It's going to be all right. You got it. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you joining me. And I look forward to hearing from you again.
Oh, you'll see me around.
All right. Have a good day. Bye-bye.